Hello and welcome. My name is Guido Bonanni from ASL Real Estate, and welcome back to another episode of Inside ASL. These videos give you an insight to the day-to-day running of ASL, different developments, childcare, project management, lots of different things. Today we're over the moon to be joined here by Carl Bonanni. Now, Carl, who's also my father, started ASL Real Estate on the 1st of August 1988.
That's correct.
He did that with Mum?
I did.
Yeah?
I did, and we've been going strong ever since.
Ah, fantastic. Now, today's topic that we're talking about is the resilience of the childcare market, the resilience of the childcare market. But the first question I have for you, I'm going to call you Dad in the video, I hope it's okay.
Wow.
First question I have for you, Dad, was what do you believe the fundamentals of a good investment are? So let's take childcare out of it. Let's just say, what are the fundamentals of a good investment?
Well, Guido, in real estate, agents and investors have always got to consider location. So location is paramount to any good investment. So finding the right investment in the right location is paramount to success. You know, the next thing that I like to look at is what the use is and what the sustainability of that use is. And what I mean by that is, and I will refer to childcare because that's where our expertise lies. The sustainability of any business is if a business is profitable, if a business is sustainable, then they're going to be an excellent tenant for an investor. So again, another fundamental to investment. So that leads on to the demand. Demand for use for childcare in an area is critical, and at ASL, as you may have heard from some of our other consultants, we do some detailed demand analysis to ensure that the projects that we're involved with do have that sustainability about them. So it's a win-win situation for the landlords, but also for the operators, which is critical. So the operators, there's so many of them, we deal with all of them over Australia. A quality tenant makes the investment sound. We, on any occasion for one of our campaigns, we could be submitting 4, 5, 6 different offers to our landlords, and we look at the tenants very carefully with those landlords, and hopefully it's achieve the best result for them. There's one last thing which is really, really critical, which I need to talk about, and it's something that we're very passionate about at ASL, and it's the excellence of the design. Design will incorporate many things, whether it is the curbside appeal, as we say in real estate, so it attracts someone from the street. In our area of childcare, it's so specialised that the design excellence is around the operation and making sure that the operators can operate efficiently and also be compliant with all the different regulations. Childcare is not just about building code matters, it's also about the Department of Education. So they're the strengths that I see in a good investment, and if you've got all those, you're minimising your risk.
Yep, no, fantastic. Thanks for that. Now, it's funny you mentioned the curbside appeal because we see a lot of drawings that come in not part of our project management team, but we see them coming in from developers that have got great curbside appeal, but then it doesn't work as soon as they walk through the building.
So true. It's sometimes very disappointing to see how unfunctional some of these designs are. They're not really taking into account the demand.
But that's okay though, because we have a whole department here that can help on that anyway. So now, Dad, how have you seen the childcare sector perform over the last 10 years? And particularly, I want to talk about the COVID years, so 2020 to late 2022, start of 2023, right? And its resilience.
It's an excellent question. I might actually, if I was to go back a bit further with a negative, I remember in the early 2000s when the biggest supplier of childcare services in Australia and nearly the world, we had some financial difficulties, ABC. I remember that very, very clearly, and 1,300 businesses hit the market. It was absolutely devastating. And we talk about resilience that fortunately, organisation called Good Start that is still around today, and Good Start, it's a great name and they're a great company, took over 700-800 of those, continued the operation, and within 12 months the childcare industry was functioning amazingly well. So if you talk about resilience, to have a major blow like that and come through so well, resilient. But your question more specifically about the COVID years, you look at childcare and it just confirmed, COVID confirmed that it's an essential service basically. And industries, survive, they come and go, but something that's essential will be always there. We look at the governments, and irrespective of which team you're on, it doesn't matter. All governments of all persuasions, and good on them, I applaud them for doing it, they invest in childcare heavily because it's just such a big boost for the economy. So during the COVID years when a lot of businesses unfortunately suffered and some even further failed, childcare operators sailed through hard work, I must say. It's never easy, but they had extra funding that was given to them, and the resilience of the market's been outstanding. Now, whether that's businesses or buildings that get built and sold, the industry just was totally successful during those periods. We had many examples to show you if anyone wants to have an appointment with us, how well Freehold sales went, how well leasing went. And again, I have to applaud the government. 1st of July this year, subsidies were increased again. It's very annoying. I'm going to say something that I don't like when media reports talk about that. Childcare fees are $150, $160, $170 a day. There are businesses that need to charge those because building costs and rents are very expensive. But it seems like to the average punter, that sounds like that's an out-of-pocket expense. It's nowhere near that. I mean, with the new subsidy schemes, up to 90% of the fees are refunded, so your out-of-pockets are 10%. So this sensationalism about, the childcare industry taking advantage of this is just, in my opinion, I'm sure there'll be a lot of operators who will support this, is nonsense. So resilience is a big word. The market's strong. It's continued to be strong. It's essential. And with more immigration coming into the country, the demand for childcare will continue to grow, in my opinion.
It's interesting that you call it, and it flies off the tongue so easily now, how we call it the COVID years, right? It really is. It only happened a couple of years ago, but it's almost becoming like a distant memory that we want to forget. Dad, how has childcare development performed over the past 5 years? So obviously the COVID years are in that, right? But how has childcare development performed over the last 5 years?
You're referring specifically to the new projects?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good question. For those of you who don't know, we have a project management department here. A big role here at ASL is identifying areas that are suitable. And over the period, we found that it's a typical day at ASL. Sitting at this very table, we'll have developers that will come and see us that have residential projects that just no longer work because the COVID years really did affect them. Build costs have gone up and maybe the value's gone down, and so they want to look at the opportunity of childcare. So we managed to convert lots of those opportunities back into childcare, subject to our scrutiny and our looking at demand and if the project has got the legs to proceed. So it's been great.
But going from strength to strength.
And it continues to grow. It continues to grow. I think in another video you'll hear Wendy say about the number of leasing transactions she did. ASL did far in excess of 100 transactions in the last 12 months in a market that, we've got inflation going up and we've got interest rates going up, and freeholds are still selling and holding very well. And leases are very popular still.
Yeah, I know your time's very important, Dad, so I'm not going to keep you much longer, right? Do you see developers, so we've got a whole lot of developers that come into our offices, traditionally perhaps residential developers or commercial developers that have never done childcare, right? Or seasoned childcare developers, but do you see developers holding the completed asset, or are most of them then on selling it?
Yeah, great question. The good thing about a childcare development as opposed to a speculative residential development, it's got income. So at the end of the development, you can make the decision whether you want to take the opportunity of selling for a gain or continue on and receive really good rents. So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yep.
I certainly see the advantage of holding on to them as they appreciate. Most of the leases in childcare have a 3.5%, 3%, 4%, even 4% annual increase. So that just means that they're increasing in value every year while you're receiving great rent. So our experience has been, it's been about a 50-50 split between whether they hold or sell.
Yep.
But either way, it just depends on the appetite of the investor, but either has amazing benefits.
Fantastic. Now, as you can probably tell through the last 4 or 5 minutes of this video, Carl is a wealth of knowledge. If you want to contact him, you can contact him on 03 9855 6000. He's available. He takes appointments. But he's got a very busy schedule, so you need to make sure that you allow some time or have a couple of times that you can actually come in and see him. Thank you very much for watching. I want to say thank you, Dad, for joining us today. Dad doesn't like being in front of the camera, either do most of the staff here, but it's been great to have you on board.
I've appreciated the opportunity. I don't normally do this, but yeah, as Guido said, if we can help you with anything, feel free to contact us. It's totally obligation free.
Now, if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. We've got a whole series of these videos coming out where we get a little bit of an inside ASL approach. So yeah, don't forget to click that subscribe button. And if you haven't already done so, hit the like button as well. Hit that bell notification so you can get notified when our videos come live. If not, have a lovely day.